My name is Tati McGonigal, and I'm the children's librarian. Welcome to the Hingham Library. We are very pleased to host Hingham author Monica Tesler to celebrate the release of her new book, Bounders. Yay! So Monica went to school in Michigan. She is a human lawyer, but I really think that she might have some Yuli DNA in her genetic code. I say that because when she should have been thinking about legal cases and writing long papers about really important stuff, things like how many feet from the curb should a car be parked? Or how many months kids need to go to school? Instead, she used her time to create an imaginary world, a place that included humans and tunnelers. Now, we might call them aliens. At a time in the future when space travel happens and astronauts are media stars and kids are needed for a special space program. And not just any kids, special kids. Kids who have certain qualities that make them different. Characteristics like a good video player, a kid that can be a good friend, or work with a team. And did I mention funny? Like when some cadets played a trick on, I can't talk about it. Story is classified. To learn about the chute filled with tofu strings and who landed in it, you've got to begin on page 1 of Bounders. Please welcome Monica Tesler.
Thank you so much. This is really, really incredible and overwhelming to be here. It's been a very exciting week, and I just would first like to say thank you to Tati McGonigal and to all the staff and volunteers here at the Hingham Public Library who have been so great and gracious in hosting the Bounders book launch today. So that's amazing. And then also very blessed with Buttonwood Books being here selling, and I really appreciate them coming, so thank you. One thing that's been very clear to me this week, you guys want to come on in, and if you want, kids can even maybe sit up front. And there's some seats over on this side and a couple even along the side. So one thing that's become very clear for me this week is how awesome it is to live in a town like Hingham. I've just been really overwhelmed with all the support and the notes and the shout outs that I've gotten from so many people in the community. And it really just made me very happy to be a resident here, to be raising my family here, to live in a town that really appreciates the arts and books and literacy. So I'd just love to give all you guys a hand for coming out. Thank you. And you know what? It takes a really long time for a book to get published, so this has been a really long wait to get here, but I'm just so excited to finally be able to share Bounders with readers, and in particular with younger readers. And so I'm just going to kick this off by saying, like, who's excited about Bounders? All right. Yay. Now, like, I had a joke plan where I was going to make you do that again, but like it actually went pretty well, so I think we'll just, move right along. But anyhow, I'm excited to talk about Bounders, of course. But first I'm going to talk about 3 things, and those 3 things are imagination, failure, and diversity. And once we get through those topics, which all also have to do with Bounders, we'll just jump right in, or bound right into the book, rather. And I would just say, everyone pay attention, because at the end we're going to have a game and there will be prizes, and the prizes are going to be based on some correct answers about what I say during this little speech. So anyways, imagination is where we're kicking off. As you might imagine, it's been a very busy week, and Tuesday in particular, the day the book was released, was very busy. But Wednesday, I did have a few pockets of spare time. So one of those moments, I was out for a long walk, and a song came into my head. And that song was Puff the Magic Dragon. And I don't know if you're familiar with the song, but it was a song I listened to a lot when I was a little girl, and it always made me cry. And the story about Puff the Magic Dragon is that there's this little boy named Jackie Paper, and he hooks up with this magic dragon. Some might call him an imaginary dragon, and they go off on these incredible adventures and voyages. They go with this billowed sail on a boat, and they meet these noble kings and princes, and then Puff has this incredible bellowing roar, and it's all very fun and exciting. But then something very sad happens. Jackie Paper comes no more for Puff. And Puff hangs his head and goes into his cave and lets out a very, very sad roar. And at that time in the song, I used to always start crying. And I didn't really fully understand why. I mean, obviously it was sad. But I was thinking about it yesterday, and I realized it's because that was the time when Jackie Paper kind of turned his back on his imagination. And that was very sad for me. And the thing is that I've been thinking about it a lot, and what did I do with imagination around the time that I was in elementary school? Well, we lived in Tennessee, and I played Star Wars every day with my neighbor, Jay McDonald, which I suspect is not that different than what a lot of you guys are doing right now. Of course, it wasn't a Force Awakens. It was A New Hope, although none of us called it A New Hope. We just called it Star Wars. And we even had these vines hanging in our yard, and we would like swing on them, and it was just as if we were on the Death Star and swinging with Luke and Leia. But at any rate, all right, now that I'm hooked up to this mic, that made that problematic. At any rate, there does come a time when that sort of outside, overt, pretend play was not as much of what I was doing, and imagination became more of something that was an inside job. And I think that in particular, that was the time that I really fell in love with books, because books are really an invitation for imagination, because when you close the pages, you can come up with your own fabulous adventures. Like, who wouldn't want to go to Hogwarts, right? Or who wouldn't want to go to Camp Half-Blood and have a capture the flag contest? In fact, I'd kind of love to take a poll of which one you'd rather do. So like, if it's Hogwarts, you can clap and say yay. That's my first question. Then I'll say Camp Half-Blood, and you can shout and say yay. And if you're not sure which one, you can cheer for both, okay? So who would love to go to Hogwarts? All right. All right, how about Camp Half-Blood? All right, good. And you know what? What I'm really hoping is that in a few days you're saying, you know where I want to go? I want to go to the Earthbound Academy. That's right. So, in other words, there are a lot of ways for you to keep your imagination really close. Okay, really close. You don't have to stop seeing Puff. You can keep your imagination close. You can do that through daydreaming about these incredibly awesome adventures you learn about in books, but not in class. Okay, not when you're supposed to be listening to your teachers. And another great thing is writing fan fiction. You know, that's actually become really popular since I was a kid. You already have the great world, and you already have some great characters, and you can write your own stories about that. But right now I spend a lot of time during the day writing stories about battling aliens, all right? But they weren't quite as big of a battle as me battling back to finding my imagination over the last 5 years as I've taken this journey of turning back to my creative self and writing. So I hope for all you that you just hold that imagination close. So the second thing I'd like to talk about is failure. Now, failure is like a super scary word, and one that we don't like, but what I'm actually here to say is that failure can be a good thing. And often failure can really mean putting yourself out there, taking risks, okay? And another word for failure can be feedback sometimes. All right, and now I'm not talking about the kind of failure where you don't study for your test and then you get a bad grade. Not that kind of failure. I'm talking more about the kind of, you go out for a sports team that maybe you're really interested in and you don't make the team, or you get a team less that you wanted to be on, or you try out for a play and you want the lead and you get in the chorus. Something along those lines. Okay, the thing is that you're putting yourself out there. All right, and why do I say that? Well, because Bounders was built on a mountaintop of failure. Okay, I wrote a book, and in order to get published by a traditional publisher, you need to submit it first to literary agents. So I submitted this book to, let's say, at least 100 literary agents. And every single one of those literary agents said, no thank you, don't want to represent your book, have a nice life. And in fact, actually, not all of them said that. A lot of them said nothing at all. It was just really the silent chirps of crickets. And so what did I do with that book? Well, I saved it on the virtual bookshelf of my hard drive, and I wrote another book. And I sent that book out to at least 50 literary agents, all of whom said, no thank you, we do not want to represent your book, have a nice life, or nothing, except for David Dunton, who is our hero, who said, I would love to represent this book. And so David Dunton took this book and submitted it to a number of publishers who declined, except for one, Simon & Schuster, who said, we love this book, we would like to buy it, and we would like to buy also 2 sequels. And that book is Bounders. And like I said, Bounders is built on a mountaintop of failure. And it's that good kind of failure of putting yourself out there, taking risks, doing the hard work, and seeing where you end up. So that brings us to the last point I wanted to talk about before bounding into Bounders. And the quiz, that's right. And are you paying attention? Excellent. Okay, diversity. So diversity in all literature, and particularly children's literature, is really important. And when I say diversity, does anyone have any ideas what I might mean? Nathan? Okay, mean difference, yep. And you have specific examples, Kate? That would definitely be making sure you're paving your own way. Yep. Anyone else have other ideas about diversity? Like maybe Cameron?
Well, I mean, it's staying different and not relying on someone else's language.
That would definitely be something that was diverse. And what I'm also thinking about, yes?
Imagination.
Excellent, excellent. We talked a lot about imagination, and that definitely comes into play in writing diverse stories. So how about diversity in terms of writing about characters of different races, of different ethnic backgrounds, of different religions? Yep? Oh, no spoilers. No spoilers, okay? No spoilers. Okay, the tunnelers are definitely diverse. I will tell you that. That's going to be the spoiler. But yes, that's a very good example. Very, very good example. So at any rate, diversity of all kinds, very important in literature, and particularly children's literature. And one of the reasons is because it's so great that anyone can pick up a book and see themselves in the pages. And for me, I can remember very vividly when that moment happened. And that was when I picked up Madeleine L'Engle's A Wrinkle in Time. And I read that book, and I met Meg Murray. And first of all, Meg Murray is a female heroine in a science fiction fantasy series, which just did not happen very often at that time. All right, so awesome. And in addition, though, Meg Murray was not simply a girl. She was a very smart girl. She was a very quirky girl. And she was a girl with very deep thoughts. And I thought, she is writing about me. And that was a very important moment for me. It was a moment that probably ultimately pushed me here to be an author. It was also a moment that probably pushed me to write this book, Bounders. In Bounders, all the characters are neurodiverse. And I wrote this book so that myself and many others who identify as neurodiverse can see themselves in a book. And many people have asked me, what exactly does neurodiversity even mean? And I'll say, it really would depend on who you ask. There's a lot of different answers to that question. But the way that I answer that question is that I mean it in the very most broadest sense of the word, that it means any single aspect of brain difference, any kind of brain difference that is different than what we think of as a typical brain. And the characters in Bounders all have some aspect of brain difference. That said, they are all completely unique and different from one another. They have their own strengths and challenges, and they have to learn to work together in order to get out of some pretty bad predicaments in the book. However, it is their neurodiversity that makes them suitable candidates to be Bounders, that makes them the best kids in the universe to be able to be trained to bound through space. It is being not typical that brings them together. So there's a real push in our society toward the typical. It feels safe and it feels less risky. But as we talked earlier, sometimes some really great things can come from taking risks, from stepping outside of a comfortable, typical box. And I believe it's the same thing with neurodiversity. It's through great minds, great different minds of all kinds working together that amazing things can happen. Particularly in areas like science and technology and the arts, we need great brains of all kinds to keep our world moving forward. So I encourage you to keep this in mind when you leave here and return to your classrooms and your communities and your workplaces, to think about the value of brain difference. If everyone was the same, that's all we would have, is more of the same. And why settle for same when we can celebrate and recognize the unique strengths and challenges of everyone, creating a rich tapestry of skills and experiences to enrich our world. And that is one of the main themes of Bounders. So, who's excited about Bounders? All right, Bounders is the story of the first class of cadets at the Earthbound Academy for Quantum Space Travel. And what does that mean? 1 minute. It means that these kids are going to be trained to bound across the galaxy in a split second. And the kids that head out to the Earthbound Academy, the cadets, are very excited. They've often felt different and sometimes excluded back on Earth, but now they finally get to be with other kids like themselves. However, shortly after they arrive at the Earthbound Academy, they learn that Earth Force has been keeping secrets and that maybe Earth Force needs the Bounders for more than they've originally been told. But most importantly, Bounders is the story of 5 special kids who end up being heroes. And believe it or not, I have invited those kids here today to tell you a little bit about themselves. Cadets, come on in. Now we all have to use our imaginations because not all these kids look exactly like the way the characters are described in the book. But we can all use our imaginations and pretend that they do. And listen very carefully because after this character skit, we're going to do a quiz, a game with prizes, and some of the questions will be based on fun facts about these characters. So I believe introductions are in order. Jasper, we'll start with you.
Okay. Hello. I haven't really prepared for this type of question, which I guess is sort of stupid because I know you're going to ask me. Well, here goes. Hi, I'm Jasper Adams. I'm from Americana East District 8. I have a younger sister, Addie. She's about to matriculate, and she'll be coming to Earthbound Academy with us during our 3rd tour next fall. What else? Oh, I play the clarinet. Geez, I don't usually tell people that, but I guess my secret's safe with you.
Thanks, Jasper. We just so happen to have a clarinet here. Would you mind playing us a quick song? All right, we're talking about a different science fiction series tonight. But thank you. Your clarinet secret is safe with us. All about 200 of us, right? Okay, Cole, you're next.
I'm Cole Thompson. I'm from Americana East, District 17, grade 6. I have no siblings. I've read all public information on Earth Force and Earthbound Academy.
Thank you, Cole. I can tell you're very informed. We can do without that commentary, Jasper. Lucy, you're up next.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Tessler. Hi everyone, I'm Lucy Dugan. I'm so excited to be here. We've been waiting for like our whole lives, right? Anyway, I'm from West, Americana West. You probably could have guessed. I am a web actress, just like the famous aeronaut Maximilian Sheik, or an aspiring actress at least. I'm part of Pacific Players Drama Club. I love to write. I've written 13 full-length screenplays. So stereotypical, right? West, actress, screenplays. Someday you'll see me on EFN. I just know I'll have my own show.
Are you letting the rest of us talk?
Just a minute, Marco. And like I said before, we can do without the commentary, right, Jasper? Jasper, are you with us, Jasper?
Huh? Oh, sorry.
You're such a space cadet.
Actually, I'm a space cadet.
Ha ha ha. Anyway, as I was saying, although I'm devastated to leave the drama club behind, I'm so glad to be at the Earthbound Academy. In the first tour of duty, I wanted friends, a lot of friends, and all of you are a great start. And knowledge. I know I'll learn a lot, Mrs. Tessler. And of course, I'm so proud to have the opportunity to serve my planet.
Okay, now it's your turn, Hotshot.
Marco Romero, Amazonas football fan. Brother not a bounder. Nothing else to say except, when do we learn to bound?
Soon, Marco. Very soon. But first, I'd like everyone to meet the final member of the pod, Mira Matheson. Mira? Sometimes Mira just needs her own space. Okay, kids, it's time for mobility. Go along, Jasper. Make sure Mira gets to class, will you?
Sure, bye.
See you, Mrs. Tessler.
Later, little woman.
Hey, Marco. Goodbye, kids. And there you have it. Bounders is the story of Jasper, Cole, Lucy, Marco, and Mira. Earth Force may not have been entirely honest about why it needs the Bounders, but one thing is clear, these kids definitely need each other. And let's give a big round of applause to these great actors. This is Nathan Tessler, Connor Anderson, Ella Benjamin, Will Benjamin, and Maya Benjamin. Both Nathan and Ella were early readers for me before Bounders was even found representation with the literary agent. So thank you. You guys can sit down. Thank you. And just so you know, that skit was primarily based on an adaptation of Chapter 7 in the book. Okay, so here's how the rest of the program will go. I'm going to do a quick reading, and then we're going to take a few questions and answers, and then we'll pull the raffle, and then we'll go along to the book signing and snacks and good stuff. And how's that sound? All right? All right. All right, here we go. Here's the reading, all right? All right, I'm going to read two brief passages, and the first is from the very beginning of the book, Chapter 1. I know it's rude to stare. How many times has Mom told me that? 1,000,000? But I've never seen an alien before. Not up close, at least. Sure, we've all seen the Global Geographic specials that air on the web in a constant loop 24/7. Anyone who hasn't seen pics and vids of a tunnelers must have been hiding out in a dingy hover garage for the last 20 years. But there he is, sitting across from me on the air rail car. Me, Jasper Adams, riding the rails with an alien, a real live tunneler, on my way home from school. It must be a sign. I mean, what are the odds I'd have a close encounter with an alien the day before I ship out to the space station? The alien's lips pucker in a perfect circle and then whip back. A snarl bubbles out of his throat. Rawr, cleek, cleek, ar, kid, ar. I'm staring at his mouth when a mechanical voice makes me jump. Can I help you? I spin around in my seat, looking for its source. Cleek, ar, kid, ar. Yes, you, the boy who keeps staring like you've never seen an alien before. Can I help you? Busted. I didn't notice the translator box hanging around the alien's neck. Sorry, I shouldn't have stared. It's not a problem, he says through the box. I'm sure I would stare too if I encountered an Earthling on our home planet. That must mean it's okay to look. The alien is small. It's not like I'm one of the short kids, but I'm not that big for 12 either, and I'm a lot taller than the alien. He has a long, rodent-like snout, bristly brown hair sprouting from every patch of skin, and is wearing dark glasses that curve around on the sides. The light probably bugs him, since tunnelers live underground. He's wearing the standard officer's uniform, gray jumpsuit with slanted orange lettering, EF for Earth Force. Soon I'll be suiting up in my own Earth Force uniform. I leave for the space station in the morning. Maybe the alien will be on my flight. Do you work at the space station, I ask? I do, he says. A group of us came down to help at the aeroport. The first batch of bounders is shipping out to the new Earthbound Space Academy tomorrow. While I'm here, I thought I'd do some sightseeing. It's my first trip to the planet. He's here to help out for the Academy? Maybe I should tell him I'm a bounder. I've never told anyone in my life. I mean, my parents know. And Addie knows, of course. She's a bounder, too. And all the doctors and scientists who I visit every year for testing know, but I've never told anyone. I'm not supposed to tell anyone. Mom has seared that into my brain. She won't care if I tell the alien, though. I'll probably see him at the space station. Plus, tomorrow, the whole world will know anyway. The alien hops off the bench. His upper half hunches forward. The tunnelers have a different center of gravity than humans. They probably have to stoop to make the clearance in all those tunnels. Nice chatting with you, Earth Boy. This is my stop. See ya. I miss my chance to tell him. Oh well. I scoot across the aisle to grab his window seat and press my hand against the glass. Out the window, beyond the 200 blocks of skyscrapers webbed together by the air rail, I glimpse the edge of the retaining wall. On the other side of that wall is the ocean, and 10 miles out to sea is the Earth Force Aeronautical Port. Tomorrow I'll board a passenger craft headed to the Earthbound Academy with the other bounders. I'll finally be with kids like me. I won't feel like the alien on the air rail anymore. Thank you. And then this final excerpt I'll read is the beginning of chapter 4. This is when the cadets have traveled from Earth on their spacecraft and are now just approaching the space station that houses the Earthbound Academy. And the term FTL means faster than light speed. This is your captain. We are disengaging FTL. We'll be arriving at the Earth Force space station in approximately 23 minutes. Return to your seats and fasten your harnesses. Later, Lucy says as she climbs over the seat. What a relief, Cole says. She thinks she knows everything. I choke back a laugh. I guess it takes one to know one. I like her, although she really talks a lot. Cole mumbles something under his breath. A loud boom shakes the craft. My body pulls against the harness again, just as it did after we cleared Earth's orbit. A few seconds pass, and I fall back against the seat like I was yanked down. Gravity stabilized. Through the front windows, the space station is suspended like an enormous spider web, and we're the unlucky bug about to be caught. As we close in, I can see how truly huge the station is. There are at least 50 structures. Most of them look like gigantic metal shoeboxes the size of football fields, all tipped at different angles. They're connected by metal tubes that twist through space like the wires and hoses that connect the parts inside a hover engine. Small crafts take off and land from 24 docks, some mounted on top of structures, some with interior launch sites. The top deck of the space station belongs to the Quantum Fleet. The sphere-shaped ships made of liquid metal stand in a line. Beyond them, space flickers and waves. I blink. I know it's the quantum field, but it feels like my eyes are playing tricks on me. I've received a message from the control tower, the captain says over the intercom. A quantum ship is bounding through in about 30 seconds. Keep your eyes focused on the quantum field and you can watch. Cole and I loosen our harnesses and sit up on our knees so we can see out the front windows. The strange wavy space makes me lose focus, zone out. I blink hard and press my fingers on my temples to stay alert. Am I imagining things? No. The space bends outward like a balloon filling with air. Then, pop! The quantum ship pushes through the field. I can hardly believe that a second ago that ship was in a different galaxy. The ship's liquid metal skin glistens with the light of a million rainbows as starlight and the floods from the space station dance across its surface. I've studied the technology behind bounding and the quantum ships, but it's hard to get my head around the physicality of the thing. It looks like a giant ball of water that should drop to the ground like rain and form a puddle on the bounding deck. Instead, the liquid clings together in a spherical form. Inside, the atoms race around the sphere at FTL+, holding the structure together in some sort of Einsteined-up centrifugal force. Spider crawler robots surround the ship and bring up the occludium membrane to shield and stabilize the outer core. The boarding platform bridges the top of the ship, and one of the crawlers peels back the hatch. Within seconds, the aeronauts emerge. 5 of them, all geared up in the silver aeronaut suit of Earth Force. 5, Cold says. A pod. Yep, I was thinking the same thing. Oh my goodness, shouts a girl a few rows ahead. That's Maximilian Chic. An echo of screams follows. Shrieks for chic. I think that's the slogan. I should know. It's scrawled across the poster hanging above Addie's desk. I can't believe Earth Force lets him pose like that. Muscles all flexed in his skin-tight aeronaut suit. He has a silly half grin and a big poof of wavy brown hair. Addie always says I could do my hair like Chic if I wanted. Right. Give me a razor and I'd shave my head before I'd leave the house looking like Chic. Good thing most of the other aeronauts seem decent and not all caught up in their celebrity. What will happen when the bounders learn to pilot the ships? Will the people love us the way they've always loved the aeronauts?